Well, hi everybody, and welcome to one of my Singapore videos from 2015. I'm here in Singapore for a week, and I'm going to be doing a number of videos about sites in Singapore. This video is going to be about different locales shot in downtown Singapore. This is my first day here. I'm just kind of walking around downtown Singapore and seeing a bunch of stuff. What you're looking at right here, it's called Riverside Point. This is on the Singapore River. So you see some boats out here on the Singapore River. A lot of these are for tourists. They take you up and down the river. And let's just kind of zoom out there and we can see a little bit of the area to the north. And I'm standing on the Reed Bridge. It was built in 1889. It's a historic bridge. And now if I look over to the east, we see a famous entertainment complex. It's called Clarke Quay. Clarke Quay is a place with a lot of restaurants and bars and clubs and things like that. So we're going to do a number of locales here in central Singapore. Okay, well I'm now right in the middle of Clarke Quay, what I just mentioned being a trendy entertainment district. However, right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning and there's nothing going on here. I mean, the place is just shut down. All the action was last night, but just so you can kind of see what it is, it's maybe about 3 or 4 square blocks of restaurants and bars. Wow, there's Senor Taco over there. I wonder how good the tacos are here in Singapore. Maybe I'll have to try one of those. And let's just swing around a couple of few more seconds here. And there's not too much happening in Clarke Quay right now, but maybe I'll come back later on in the evening when there's a lot of action going on in here. Okay, on this historic site, Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles first landed in Singapore in 1819. And he was the British guy that originally came over here and started to develop Singapore. So if we back up here, we can see a statue of Mr. Raffles right there. His famous statue here in Singapore. And some of Singapore's modern skyscrapers behind. Now, I just want to mention something else. This is Singapore's 50th anniversary this year. Singapore became independent in 1965. So it's a big year over here in Singapore. And the founder of modern Singapore, his name is Lee Kuan Yew. You know, most Americans don't know that name. I know who he is, though. He was the man that was the most responsible for turning Singapore into what it is today, which is really a pretty amazing place. So amazing that I've decided to spend a whole week here. He just passed away this year. He was in his early 90s. So this has been a momentous year for Singapore in more ways than one. Okay, this is the Kembangan Bridge, a very famous bridge here that crosses the Singapore River. It's actually the oldest bridge across the river. It was completed in 1869, which is a long time ago, and it's now a footbridge. So I'm going to walk across the Kembangan Bridge right now and go over to the area where the Fullerton Hotel is. I'm going to swing over here to the left and show you the Fullerton Hotel, which is a famous hotel. I know what you guys out there are thinking. You're thinking, Mike, you must be sweating like a pig because you're in Singapore. And I have to admit that Singapore is a really hot place. It's right on the equator. But the weather isn't too bad today. I mean, I've been walking around for about an hour and I'm not really sweating that much. You know, knock on wood. This is my first day, so I hope the weather keeps up nice as it is. Okay, I'm here now at one of the most famous view spots here in Singapore. This is the Merlion. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here on this guy. This is the Merlion. He's the symbol of Singapore. He is the mascot of Singapore. He's half lion and half mermaid, the Merlion. And normally he's spitting out water right out of his mouth, but he's not today. I'm very disappointed that the Merlion is not spitting out any water. Take a look around here, the Fullerton Hotel across the street, which is another iconic spot in Singapore. And if we back up, we can see the downtown skyline. And a great view of the Marina Bay Sands, one of the most epic hotels in the world. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on the Marina Bay Sands, so I won't go into it right now, but you'll have to watch for that video. And looking the other direction, across the other side of the bay, you can see some more buildings. And also there's a Bayfront Stadium down there. Not quite sure what the sport is, but there is a stadium down there. And Singapore has its own wheel, just like the London Eye. It's the big wheel. And I'm going to take a ride on that a little later. Wow, after the last video I shot, it just started dumping rain like crazy. I mean, it does that here in Singapore all the time. We're right on the equator, it's a tropical climate, and it rains like crazy. So I ducked into this pub. It's called Muddy Murphy's. It's here in the Somerset, right next to the Somerset MRT station. 20 years ago when I came to Singapore, I came with a girlfriend, and every night we'd go into this place. So, you know, it's kind of getting off topic, but I recommend it. It's a great Irish pub here in Singapore. It's called Muddy Murphy's. Okay, I'm now on Orchard Road, which is a very famous boulevard here in Singapore. It's mainly known for a lot of malls and shopping. I'm not really here to do any shopping. I don't really care about shopping, to be honest with you. But it is worth seeing. So I want to take a few shots here on Orchard Road and see what it's all about. Now, the only other time I've been to Singapore was in 1996. I think I mentioned that before. I stayed in this hotel right here. It's called the Orchard Hotel. Now, maybe a lot of you people don't give a rat's ass about where I stayed in 1996, but you know what? It's my video, and there it is. I just feel like filming it for some kind of a historical record. I stayed there in 96 for about 5 days, I think it was. Okay, I'm now in Chinatown, so let's just take a quick look around Chinatown. Right next to the entrance to Chinatown, you go right over here to the left, there's a very famous Hindu temple. So let's take a look at the architecture on the Hindu temple. Right down the street from the Hindu temple is another very famous temple. This is the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple. Supposed to contain an actual tooth of the Buddha right here in this temple. So I think we can go in there and do a little filming inside the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple. Wow, there sure was an interesting temple. I really enjoyed it. The Buddha tooth relic was actually in a special room where photography was prohibited. I did take movies of the best areas where photography was permitted, but it was prohibited in other areas. So yeah, I'm really glad I came to this temple. It was definitely worth it. Wow, what a day. After a big day of running around Singapore and doing a bunch of stuff, I'm hungry. So to round out this video, finish up this video, I'm here at the Maxwell Food Center in Singapore. They have these what they call hawker centers or food centers that have loaded with little food stalls. And you know what I'm going to eat? I'm going to eat the chicken rice, because when you come to Singapore, you've got to have Hainanese chicken rice. Hainanese chicken rice is practically the national dish here in Singapore. Everybody eats it. And there's one place that's really famous. It's in this Maxwell Food Center. It's called the Tian Tian Hainanese chicken rice stall. So I'm going to go in here and get some chicken rice. Okay, well, this is the place that's supposed to be so famous, but they're closed. They're not even open. I don't know if it's the wrong time of the day or what. So I'm just going to get chicken rice from another stall. Okay, well, Tian Tian is closed. So I'm going to go over next door here to this Thai and get my Hainanese chicken rice there. You know, chicken rice is all the same anyway, right? Let's zoom in here and take a look at those chickens. Wow, look at that. That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to go over here and get some chicken rice, and I'm going to wrap up the day, and I'm ready to go back to my hotel. You never know where destiny will take you.